Even though we're geographically located in all our separate places, all our different locations, it's like we're also together, we're also in this field together. The space of awareness is holding all of us. And just inviting awareness all the way in, all the way through. Bringing loving attention to any places that are tight or holding. Any parts of us that are working hard. Just letting awareness gently touch everything that's here. Without making any of it wrong. Without buying into the idea that any of it needs to be different, shouldn't be here. Everything we're experiencing is so valid. So welcome, so a part of reality. We get to open to the truth of our experience. Turning to what's really here, beneath all our stories about what we think we are, what we think our life is. We can especially invite awareness into those places that we habitually turn away from. There's parts of us we habitually reject. Those experiences we're just convinced don't belong, shouldn't be here, are a sign there's something wrong with us. those places that we pushed off into the shadows, into unconsciousness. Places that are just so starved for loving attention. So longing to return to the whole, to return to wholeness. Just letting everything be exactly as it is. Letting ourselves know each layer of experience, even the places that are scared, that tremble. Even the energetics of shame, the feel of it. Even the deepest heartbreak. Just let awareness open up everything so organically without the slightest pressure or pushing. Just letting everything be revealed. Everything gets to be here without apology. We get to be fully in the flow of life, what's truly alive, truly real. the intense energies and the subtle energies. A whole range of experience, all the different dimensions. So much bigger than any story we tell of ourselves, any image we hold of ourselves. So vast, so open. So alive, surprising. So unmanageable. We never know what we're given to experience next. We get to be so intimate with this. Whatever it is that's moving through us. So beautiful to gather together like this, to turn towards the truth together. I'd love to invite you to share whatever it is that is alive for you right now, what you're noticing. And it could be an insight, it could be something that's difficult or challenging. It could be a question. Whatever you're experiencing is so welcome here, so welcome in this space. I would also love to invite you to turn your cameras on if you're willing. It's really lovely to see faces.
And I just wanted to check in with Betty. Betty, I'm going to unmute you if you had a question. do you have a question or want to speak?
Just briefly, I didn't have any audio, but I finally got it, but I'm not showing up on the screen.
Okay, because your camera's off. I'll invite you to turn it on, and you should be able to turn it on.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. For those of you who are on the phone, I just want to add that you can use the raise hand function too if you would like to speak, and you just press *9. If that doesn't work, you can also just unmute yourself by pressing *6. Just let us know you have a question or you'd like to speak. Go ahead, Ara.
Oh, I appreciate the invitation to sink in. And I notice that there's a certain level of like thinking that keeps, in addition to this sort of energetic feeling of sinking in, there's like this wound up kind of thinking. And in relation to the conversation yesterday, like wondering about, is there something that this is kind of covering, or so I was looking for some kind of maybe fear or reluctance to enter more fully the quietness. But I'm wondering what you might have to say about sort of that phenomenon, both of part of me relaxing and part of me sort of like just having this momentum or constant commentary going on.
Yeah, what do you notice yourself feeling right now? Just sort of dropping into the felt experience, the energetic experience.
Yeah, it just feels like a broadening of space back and down behind me, and like I don't know, like a substance or a presence or something. And then also the thinking.
Yeah, just like letting, it's just like not making war on the thinking, but just continuing to notice like what's sort of here that's not thinking. It's like so often we just, our attention is conditioned to sort of be focused on thinking a lot. So it can just be, can just take a while for that to sort of quiet down, to sort of fall into the background more.
Mm. So just more attention on the other stuff.
Yeah, it's sort of like just an opening beyond thinking. It's not that we need to kill off thinking or put a stop to it. It's just letting awareness be bigger than that. Letting ourselves, open to what's here beyond thoughts. The parts of reality that are not mental images or concepts. Which is the sort of 99.9% of reality. Yeah, not making it wrong. It's not a problem. What are you noticing now?
Kind of a, like, it got quieter, but actually the sort of the sensation of dropping got less as well. So I don't know if that was like a losing touch with that, or if things were just getting quieter.
Yeah, it's just really letting it unfold however it wants to. Like there's no sort of doing involved. It's like in the absence of doing, we just naturally open. In the absence of managing, trying.
Yeah. Wants to be able to access, this on my own. And so, yeah, so that seems to be the phenomenon right now, is that there's times during the day, like first thing in the morning or in the evenings, when I feel this presence. Wow, it's a teacher or a facilitator or a friend or somebody that has a lot of that sort of connectedness already. And so, yeah, it does. I understand about the relaxing piece, but the shift of awareness, then the question is, I mean, isn't that a little bit of effort to sort of let awareness feel those other places?
It's actually just sort of noticing and allowing a relaxing of the effort to stay out of those places.
Okay. Yeah.
It's like the avoidance of feeling takes effort. There's like subtle sort of holding and sometimes not so subtle.
Yeah.
Yeah, we get to be here so effortlessly, so simply. It's really trusting our natural unfolding.
Thank you.
Thank you. Lovely being with you. Yeah, such a beautiful contribution to us all. Go ahead, Kate.
Go ahead, Julie.
So, yeah, it feels great to be in this field, and it's not as accessible without the teacher and the sangha there, but oh well, that's how it is. I just wanted to say that what was it Anna said at the beginning of your talking? You said opening to the back and down, and I'm just still like totally absorbed by that. Like that was a big shift for me, and I'm just, it feels amazing. Like the back, I don't know why that just struck me. There's a resonance, and I'm just really enjoying the space back there. And I have this idea about down, that when I can feel more down, I feel like I'm having more access to something I don't normally have access to. And I don't know if it's true or not, or whether there's such a thing as true, but actually, I think there is. I think because we live so much up in the head, like you were saying, like to feel like energetically present all the way down is kind of a rare thing. And when I actually feel that, it feels like more of the wholeness of what the potential is. Like there's all this power down there. And sometimes it startles me when I feel it, because it's so intense.
Yeah, sort of like life wants to take us, it wants to live us.
Yeah.
It's almost like we're used to trying to stay on top of it. It's like we're sort of like trying to sort of keep afloat, keep above life somehow, keep distance from it.
Yeah. That's interesting. There was something you said earlier in the meditation, and I don't remember what the word you actually said was, but it was sort of funny because I thought you said canoe. You weren't saying canoe, but then I had this image of just floating along in a canoe, sort of on the surface of the water. And actually, that felt really good because it's pretty effortless if you're on a river and it's just kind of taking you down. So, I don't know.
Yeah, it's like, and just to realize like how like how that's available to us. Like we can actually be carried by life. We can let our natural life energy move through us and take us where it needs to take us. We don't need to be scrambling around trying to control and manage everything.
Yeah, the part that's trying to manage everything hears that, and it's kind of it so wants that on some level, and is also like, there's trepidation about letting go.
Yeah, beautiful to make contact with that. Yeah.
Yeah. Because of course it's so much effort, and to manage everything. And then there's also like a lot of delight in it too, though. I mean, navigating this life here, using all those faculties, it's the play. There's a lot of fun in that too. But then there's aspects of it where try, there's nothing you can do, you know, it's just.
Yeah. Yeah, and the faculties are still available to us. You know, it's like when they're in sort of proper relation to our lives, like they're just helpful, they're just supportive, they're part of the play, part of the delight. And to feel that the trepidation, like the place where it's like that attempt to escape, to sort of hold ourselves back. Yeah, just to know that place, just to bring loving attention there.
Yeah, that's this so like right and wrong, trying to get it right and not wrong.
Mm.
And like the strength behind that effort is actually that I can kind of feel like that plugging me in down to that power and strength behind the effort, but the effort itself is, if it's too tight, you know, it doesn't work. Just trying to do it from here or whatever that is. I have this image of like going back to the water, like a seaweed or like a plant in the water. And so it's like rooted under there and really held in, but as the water, it's just waving. And that feels actually sort of delicious. The water just like, and like not having rigidity about things that happen.
Yeah, it doesn't matter what the current is right now, like what the movement is. So we're so free just to experience it. There's no possibility that we're doing it wrong.
Huh. Yeah, and there's something again about this back behind, like my attention being drawn behind, and it's like the field back there. It's more neutral and supportive, I think. I don't know, just to try to come up with concepts to describe why it feels so good. Whereas like all the in front, it's not bad, but it's just busier. Like there's, you know, all the emotional and the visual and like everything happening in front of us all the time. And back just, it feels like just this warm space. So I guess I'll just hang out with that for a while. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting us all back and down.
I didn't start it.
Corinne has her hand raised. Go ahead. You're unmuted. Is it Corinne or Karen?
Karen. Karin.
Go ahead.
Do you hear me? Hi?
Yeah.
Hello?
Yeah, you're a little faint, but yeah, I can hear you.
Well, hold on.
Is this better?
Yeah.
Do you hear me?
Yeah. Yeah, a lot better.
Okay. Okay, good. Hello.
Hi.
Hi. I'm just going to turn the volume up because I put my heads off. Hold on, please. There we go. Oh, I have, I'm sitting here with a lot of pain. I don't know what to say.
So good just to let it be felt. Yeah, it doesn't need an explanation. So welcome here. Karen, it looks like your camera's on, but we're not able to see anything. I'm wondering if there's something covering the camera.
Yes, it is. I heard that it was going to be recorded, right?
Yeah, but actually we don't record. We only record my image. So.
Okay, fine. Here we go.
So good to let all this be felt. What are you noticing now?
A change. I'm just saying to myself, open, open, open my heart. Open, open, open.
Yeah, it so wants to open.
Yeah, because something happened today that made me close, really.
Mm. Mm. So good to let yourself feel the pain of that, the heartbreak.
Mhm. What is going on?
I mean, as our hearts open, we get to feel the hurts that have led it to close. It's sort of like that's the price for being with an open heart. Having an open heart is that we get to feel it all. We get to feel the depth of the heartbreak. It's this willingness to feel, this willingness to be here for it. Our hearts have so much capacity for feeling.
Mm. It feels like something happened today and I really closed it so tight. And then thoughts came along trying to keep this heart closed, you know, blaming somebody else, you know.
Yeah.
But now when I open, all the thoughts are gone. The negative thoughts, you know.
Yeah.
that is trying to explain the situation.
Yeah. It's sort of like we get caught in just trying not to experience, to not feel what's there to be felt.
Yeah.
And it's like, how can we organize our relationships and our lives to not feel this ever again?
Hmm.
And it's such a relief to realize that we actually get to feel it. We just get to feel it. We get to have our hearts broken. We get to cry. We get to be touched.
Yeah, I can see so clearly how my mind was going, about how I will react to that person, in the future.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, it's like that when we're hurt like this, I mean, often these hurts are laid down so early in life, and it's like, experiences we have now so touch these places again, and it's like we just immediately go into like, how can I never feel this? How can I escape this? It's such a relief just to be in the truth of it, just to feel it, just to realize that we actually have the capacity to feel all the way down into this.
It feels like the pain is the doorway to what I feel right now.
Yeah.
And I can see so clearly about the surface, where a closed heart blaming the other person and making me decide how to treat that person, and bad stuff like that from the ego. And now it's like a different world.
Totally. Yeah. I mean, it's amazing how much of our life energy is devoted into not living. Like, keep our distance from life.
Mm.
And all the time we're invited to be here. We're actually invited to be here, open, feeling.
Mm. Yeah. But at the same time, now it's easy with you, but I was trying by myself before.
Mm.
It's not the same.
Yeah, and it just is helpful often to have loving company in these places. It's so normal for us to feel supported by this type of gathering, by company.
Oh, it's so different because now I see there's nothing wrong. Before it was something that was really wrong.
Yeah.
Would you say the thing is to open like this? Just say open, open, open.
Yeah, it's like it wants to happen, and like just that willingness to feel what's here, what's really here, the willingness to feel the pain that's there, to know that it's there, to be intimate with it.
It's like loving the pain.
Yeah. Yeah, it's the end of conflict with ourselves. It's like this, you know, we're trying not to have the experience that's here, and then it's like we get to come together in it. We get to bring love, embrace that place.
Mm.
We become whole again.
Yeah. Mm.
Yeah.
Do you think it comes up in order to open up? Do you know what I mean? Do you think it happens? This what happened to me today happens because there's a place with lack of love.
Yeah, I mean, it's like I said, these places are often laid down. You know, they're very young places typically. You know, these hurts, these wounds, and that it's sort of like whenever they're touched, it's like an invitation to feel that place, to become intimate with that place, to embrace the part of us that, you know, we were convinced was unlovable, unwanted,
Mm.
abandoned.
Mm. It's so soft now.
So beautiful being with you here.
I'm glad I raised my hand.
Yeah, it's such a gift to us all.
Well, it's a wonderful process from coldness to warmth, from tightness to relaxed,
Mm.
from outer to inner.
It's a miracle. It's like we, you know, from the perspective, like when the pain hits and we're like trying to get away, it's like we just we think like to feel it is just death. It's just the worst place. It's like the last thing to do. And then as we open to what's really there, we start allowing it to be felt.
Yes, and I can see so clearly how my thoughts are trying to escape.
Yeah.
And I was listening to the thoughts, I was believing them so strongly. So, but now I see them in another perspective.
So powerful to just see the conditioning, just to see how it is.
Mm. Mm.
It's like it all gets revealed in this space of awareness. It's like, oh, that's
Mm.
what was happening.
Mm.
Oh, okay. It's like we can just see the whole process. It's like,
Mm. That's why I have like a mantra to myself that is just do it. Because you don't understand before, but you understand afterwards.
yeah. Yeah, these places that we're like so convinced, like the mind thinks it knows what's there and there's nothing good to be done. You know, it's like, oh, there's some solution maybe to be found doing or thinking or something. But yeah, as we actually open to it, it's like it's a whole universe gets revealed that's completely different from what we imagine.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Thanks a lot.
Go ahead, Yoshi.
Hi, Adam.
Hi.
Nice to see you again.
Yeah, lovely to see you.
I had this thought that I had a kind of question, and then I planned all my answers to it already. So then I found myself just raising the raised hand thing anyway. I want to ask you about. Oh gosh, it feels hard to ask about. I don't know what it is, whether it's a question or what, but I'm really struggling with how to be with. I'm really badly going through the menopause. I'm going to have a hot flush now just to show you. And I'm just completely exhausted by it, and I don't know how to be with it. And so if I say this has been happening for 10 years now, and it's yeah, I mean, like some of the other callers have been saying, maybe what needs to happen is my undoing by it, which certainly feels like it's what's happening to me. But there's a real sense of I just feel like I'm disintegrating with it, actually. Like I feel like my whole body's disintegrating. So when I heard the caller talk about life energy, I really noticed my heart beating with that, because I feel like I can't trust my life energy. And I don't know, yeah, the mind's trying to work it out, and the mind can't work it out. And I try and open to it, but that doesn't feel right either, because what I end up doing is just feeling my whole body wants to explode. So I'm just completely at sea with the whole thing, just completely at sea.
Yeah, let's just open to what's here. Yeah, just feeling what's.
Well, what happens, the strength of energy that goes through me, and it has so many parts to it. I almost feel like I become disconnected. You know, what's that word?
Associated.
Yeah. That's what, and it feels like it has this, like it connects with a really young trauma in me.
Yeah.
So I just end up feeling re-traumatized every time it happens, because I don't know what to do. And there isn't anything to do, but there's a sense in which I just feel like I'm, you know, like you talk about the abandoned and orphaned parts. It's like that's just continuing, and I don't know how to rescue myself.
Yeah, Yeah, just feeling the pain that's there.
I think it really connects for me with this nice idea I had about myself as someone who can manage and is, I guess, strong, and all those kind of ideas we have about ourselves. And I can kind of, I feel very kind of loving towards my own vulnerability in a funny way. I do, but somehow I can't connect that to rescue the bit that feels like it's been abandoned. I don't know if that makes any sense at all, but yeah, lost.
Yeah, it's just like, yeah, like not knowing what it really is.
And what it means.
Yeah.
And not being allowed, in a way, not being allowed to have any hope about it as well. There's a real quality of despair about it because I can't see that it's ever going to end. And I don't know what that means, really.
Yeah, let's just turn towards that which you don't know if it's ever going to end, like the experience of it, the direct experience of it.
There's a real fear there because I don't know. I can't manage if it's never going to end.
Yeah, you don't have to manage. We're just going to feel what it is. Just feel into the experience without looking for a solution or an exit.
What comes up is I want to escape out of this body. That's what comes up.
Yeah.
Like it's like a part of me flees every time it happens, and then I have to coax that part back in again.
Yeah, so it's really powerful to notice that, like how we're just trying to escape, you know, like that how strong the movement is away from experience. It's like as we turn towards it, it's like we notice, like, oh, we escape again. Oh, we escape again. It's like we're so conditioned to not go to this place. So strong. So many layers of defense and protection around it. We're just ever so gently opening to it again, just without any violence, without any push. But we're just gently allowing awareness in there, just letting ourselves know this place.
The place that I'm really noticing that is like, I feel like my feet lose connection with the earth when I want to just flee. So as I'm being with it, it does feel like the energy is coming back down again and wanting to move towards my feet again. Like I want to earth myself again.
Beautiful.
I feel like I want to put my feet in the earth, to root in the earth. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, you belong here.
Pardon?
You belong here.
Yeah, I've struggled with that. you saying that, I feel like there's been this kind of decision, which is, I'll stay till it gets too bad, then I'll go.
Yeah, really great to see that.
Pardon?
Really great to see that. Yeah.
Mm.
And you don't have to leave. We don't have to leave. We get to be here for all of it. We get to feel it all. Get to have the whole experience of life.
There's a longing for that. There's also a feeling of shame as well. And it's yeah, I don't know. Yeah, there's a feeling of shame around.
Yeah, and just to let it be felt without believing it, without believing that you don't get to be here, that you shouldn't exist, or this part of you shouldn't exist.
Mm.
That's not true. Everything in you is so innocent.
I feel like there's a I don't know what it is, but I feel like there's a memory around at some point when I hear you say that, and it's like I don't remember, but it's the moment at which, and it's very, very young, when I first wanted to flee.
Mm.
Feels like it's connected to that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's great to go back to that place, just to feel like what happened there, you know?
Mm.
What was that experience that just seemed like it was too much at the time? Just letting ourselves feel into it.
Yeah, something's kind of, I just feel like I've kind of spaced out, or I've gone a bit lost or something. Now I just feel quite lost now.
Yeah, great to notice that, Leah. To notice that
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's a little bit of needing to perform as well. It's kind of like so I feel like I'm not performing. I'm not performing, like some idea about how I should be performing, and I'm not. And there's, I don't know if that's where the shame is, but
Yeah, it's like absolutely no pressure. It's nothing we have to make happen. Like we're just inviting this abandoned place into awareness and letting it be felt. And it's such an organic process. You know, it's like we just invite it, and it like gets to unfold however it unfolds. It's like we get to show up without any agenda. We really don't know what's there. It's like we're just sort of making contact with the truth. You know, we're just like turning towards it. It's like, oh, what's there? Willing to know, willing to feel, willing to be intimate. What is this place?
It's a place I really don't like because there's a real sense of I have no idea what's going on. My head's kind of saying I have no idea what's going on. You know, it's like my head is saying it's completely lost at the moment.
Yeah.
And it's, well, used to being in charge.
Yeah, it's just like sinking down into the field of awareness. Letting awareness touch whatever's there. We still don't get to manage the process.
Damn. Yeah, there's a kind of squirminess about not being in control. I mean, I can come to that place of just an acceptance of not being in control of anything, really.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel actually really okay about that. Actually, it's a relief. Thank God for that.
Yeah, it's a lot less work when we get that. We're not supposed to be in control of it all.
Yeah. And I can actually, as I sit here now, I have a sense of like a kind of feeling of lightness. I mean, I do feel quite hot and sweaty as I'm sitting here, so it's not that, so I can kind of connect with these, you know, these hot flushes or what have you. But like there's a feeling like it's okay, I'm not supposed to know what to do. And there's a lightness with that that makes it, of course, more bearable. I mean, I don't know if that's or just not even bearable, but just a much more of a sense of this is just what's happening now.
Yeah.
Without any kind of agenda about it.
Beautiful.
And that I realise in saying that I think one of my struggles has been that there's a feeling of being punished that's gone with it. Like I, on some deep level, yeah, of being punished. But there's a real feeling of something kind of opening up.
So beautiful.
Right, the sun's coming out. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, so much is just about that willingness to turn towards what's really here without knowing what it is. Yeah, we just don't know. We're just
no. it's funny because when I was meditating this morning, I was really connected with how much of a relief not knowing is. There's a deep relief in that. So that feels like another connection back with, yeah, don't know. Isn't it great? I don't know. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. Beautiful. Yeah. Thank you.
So Ophelia has been trying to get on to use the raise hand function. She just found it. So go ahead, Ophelia, and then we have 2 others.
There's a new sort of, I felt a lot of pain, like just absolute pain in my heart. Yesterday and today, and then sitting with everyone, it's just, I just ease. But now something's coming along that's like a little terrifying, because like I'm noticing like this heart of mine with so much pain in it, it's almost unbearable. But then there's this like incredible anger there, like incredible anger, like I almost feel like this body can't even hold this in, and it just wants to like decimate out there. I'm like,
Yeah, and just to really let yourself feel that energy, just to really like allow that vital energy to be there.
It almost feels like it's wrapped around love, like there's this love, but the love is saying, how dare you? And it's like, like I'm just shaking, like.
Yeah, it's beautiful. It's like that energy is an aspect of love, like to protect the innocent.
Okay, I'm gonna like relax myself now hearing that. I think my mind was really confused about that. I feel like a dragon, like the fire wants to come out of my mouth.
Yeah, it's so important to allow ourselves to feel these energies. Often we've been shamed around these energies, and we've sort of contracted, and we think there's something wrong with us if we feel them. We so get to let ourselves feel it. So gets to be felt. So gets to be here. It all comes to harmony as it's felt. It gets integrated. It's allowed.
It's a different energy than, like it feels like everywhere in my body, which is really interesting. Like, but there is a tremble in it as well. It's terrified.
Yeah, it's so allowed. It's so welcome here. You so get to feel this. You so get to let this energy be here. We can think we'll get killed if we let ourselves feel this.
I just could feel actually how this energy was soothing something in me. Weird how that would feel soothing. but like behind my heart, like, I've got you.
Yeah, it's a protector energy.
I like it.
Yeah.
A lot. Like, it's like, thank you. Like, just like, I feel like I could push a mountain right now. Like, I'm like, wow. Like, it feels like my, whoa.
Yeah.
But like, there's this tremble there too.
Yeah, so we allow ourselves to be fully alive, to really feel like the fullness and intensity of these different energies. It's like we can sort of, there can often be a kind of a tremble. It's like, is this allowed? Is this dangerous? You know, to be this alive, to be this engaged, be this here.
It feels really good. I was scared. I felt afraid of it at first because I'm like, oh. But it's like, as I'm just being with it and letting it be here, it's like the body just really wanted this. Like, it just wanted to come in and be, it feels bigger than the body. Oh, wow. That's so neat. So just let that sort of fire and shake and everything be here. Just let it be here. And don't try and go in the river and cool it down or anything. Just like,
Yeah, let it have its life. Just feel how vital it is, how good it is, how nourishing it is, just to let it run, just let it be felt. We so have permission to feel all of this. We get to feel everything we feel. None of it's wrong.
I just, in a moment, just felt how it doesn't actually want to hurt anyone. It doesn't want to hurt anyone. Oh, that's what I was afraid of. I was afraid that it wanted to hurt someone, and that's why I wouldn't let it be here. But it doesn't want to hurt anyone.
Yeah.
It just wants to be. That's amazing. It feels like it's dissipating now and sort of coming back to calm. Yeah. Thank you, Adam.
Beautiful.
Everyone. Wow.
Yeah, thank you for sharing this journey with us. Beautiful. Yeah, it's so often like this, like an energy shows up and the mind just sort of says like, oh, that's wrong, that shouldn't be here. What if we stay with this energy for our whole, we just make war on the experience, we just separate from it. We so just get to let it all be felt, get to be so present to it. It's really in the truth of it all. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
See, Girly, go ahead. Oh. Unmute you.
Hi. How's everyone today? I wanted to thank Yeshi for the courage to speak up, and because I feel like someone gave her the script to the litany that runs in my head. I too have been struggling for about 4 years with menopause, adrenal failure, and I have spent thousands of dollars trying to figure out what to do to shift, how to heal the body. And I know that it's all tied energetically. I know it's all tied to my past, to past lives. You know, and I've been working enormously with inner aspects of me that are tied to this. You know, I have an aspect called the conductor, and she likes to, you know, shut off the grid when things get too frightening, or when she doesn't feel in control. And really working on bringing that aspect out. And one of the previous callers made the statement about loving the pain. Mm. And that is what I've been deeply doing, is loving those aspects of me that I've never let out, that I've never allowed, that, or maybe that have never let me out. How about that? And then we had one of them speak about the dragon and the anger and the rage and the fire and the fear that if letting those feelings out, that I may hurt someone. And that has been one of my greatest fears, is because I have been slowly letting that rage out, slowly letting that pain out, you know, like a pressure valve. Instead of just blowing the cap and, you know, letting it out and just laying waste to everything in front of me, slowly letting that pressure off. And then you also alluded to that fear that if we felt that pain, or if we let go, that we would die, that the pain would kill us. And I've always had a fear that if I let go of control, because if I let go of control, that I would cease to exist, that I would absolutely cease to exist. I know that I know theoretically that is not true. I know at a certain place in my heart that is not true. And I am, you know, on this journey to continue to let go. And I know that what would have killed me as a child will not kill me now. But loving the conductor in me, loving that little girl in me, that there was an aspect of me at about 8 years old that ceased to exist. And the conductor took over because there was such a trauma in the childhood that I would have physically died from the feelings of that trauma. Learning to love that conductor, learning to allow her to speak. And I know I'm probably sort of bouncing around because there's so many different things you alluded to, or everybody else did, that I'm like, yeah, that's a part. Yeah, that's a part. And then there's and I thank Yeshi again for the courage, because as courageous as I am, as courageous as I like to think I am, or that facade that I put up, there's a part of me that's very vulnerable. and very frightened to be vulnerable or to be exposed.
Yeah, it's so beautiful to make contact with that, to hold that place. Yeah, and to let it be seen here, it's so powerful.
And I realized that, and I so realized that, and I think that's one of the things that I have deeply been working on probably in the past 8 months, is really allowing my vulnerability to be seen, because that's a part of my sovereignty. In order to be sovereign, that's a part of that internal power, is to be able to stand completely naked and vulnerable in front of someone or everyone, you know, and to be okay with that. And but there's also that part that says, oh my gosh, if you expose yourself, if you permit the vulnerability, and if you permit people to see those proverbial weak spots, that someone will come in and, you know, annihilate you. Again, I know at this juncture in my life that that is not true, but it's the feelings from childhood that that's what I'm feeling.
Yeah, and that's why it's so powerful to actually to do exactly what you're doing. You know, to let yourself be revealed here, to let yourself be transparent here, to reveal what's true for you, and to let your whole system sort of have that experience of being open, being transparent, being vulnerable, and not being killed.
Well, all of this is playing out physically in my body, and I think that part of the health issue has to do with my resistance, and has to do with those competing, those warring factions in me. You know, that part that wants to come out and needs to come out, and all of those feelings. And then that part of me is going, if you do that, that's why I was created at the age of 8, because that little girl would have died if she didn't shut down, disassociate, and I come in to take over. And I guess if nothing else, I'm so deeply grateful to everyone today for sharing, and for you, Adam, for holding space, because it has given me permission to open that door a little bit more. And
yeah, I just want to deeply appreciate the way that you've been in this space, the way you've been letting yourself really be inside the experience of each person who shared here, like feeling that your oneness with them. It's such a transformative experience when we get to do that, when we get to be like with everyone and every part of everyone in this space, and letting them make contact, letting them be inside us. Like, rather than the sort of distancing, it's like, wow, I'm not that. No, I don't have that going on. You know, like the sort of pushing away, the distancing, but just to really let, like, oh yes, this is part of the human experience. Yes, this is part of the human experience. We get to explore all pieces in ourselves as each person's sharing. We get to know these parts of what it's like to be here.
Yes, and that feeling that, you know, sometimes it's so easy to draw in and feel alone and feel like you're the only one. You know, again, you know that other people experience hardships and insecurities and fears, and but sometimes you know, the conductor in me wants to jump up and go, "You're the only one, you know, you're the only broken piece of china in this entire store. How about we just sort of turn you around so they can't see the chip, so they can't see the crack."
And this is why a space like this is so powerful, because it reveals how that is totally delusional. Like the idea that we're the uniquely broken one, that only we suffer in these ways. We get to, when we gather like this and we open together, it's like, wow, there's just this field. We're in this field of experience, and there are all these different kinds of energies and experiences happening, and we're all subject to them. We're all having these experiences. It's like there's one. I mean, we're so much more similar than we are different. It's like there's one field of sort of conditioning and love and so on that's playing out here through us all. And we're just been taught to reference the self, to think that it's all about like my experience and my particular way of being here, my particular problem. And we're so in this together.
Yes, and I think this group that, you know, the space that you're holding for us, for me, I feel like I can lean on y'all's love, you know, at a moment when I'm feeling sort of depleted and not necessarily feel like I have as much love there for myself to lean on. And and that's a part of the encouragement I felt to be able to speak up today. And I know that we're getting close to the end, so I do want to jump off to allow other people, you know, time to be able to share as well. I cannot thank you enough, Adam, for holding this space, and for everyone else that's you know, that's been a part of this. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you so much for your beautiful contribution, your vulnerability.
Rakan? Go
Hi.
ahead.
Thank you. Hi, Adam.
Hi.
How you doing?
Good.
I wanted to share with you sort of what's been coming up lately, and maybe see if you have some feedback. But you know, like I sort of fell into these teachings about a year and a half ago, and the first year was just like this massive sort of really pleasant opening, and it was like a honeymoon period, and now there's like just it's sort of, it's weird because some amount of like tension on a personal level happened with some people and sort of my marriage and stuff. It was a little bit rocky for a bit, and there's an apparent closing off of that place, or that openness and connection that's been taking place, that's been sort of being seen over the last couple of months, and just a lot of anger is arising, and just like it's kind of a scary anger, because like somebody will say something that's a little off kilter, and then just a lot of rage comes in, and sort of there's a little bit of confusion about, hey, what happened to that really nice, beautiful connectedness? And I sort of see that, like, you know, I see that that's a story. I see that what is always here, and
and as we open, it's like so normal. This is like so part of what happens as we open. It's like we're opening to sort of the sort of bliss of expansion and the beauty of that, and that actually gives us access to these places that we've been unconscious to, that we haven't been able to meet before. So it's really normal for people to have this experience of simultaneously opening and the beauty of expansion and insight, and making contact with these places of pain. these places of unconsciousness that we hadn't known existed before. We were just sort of dead to or numb to.
Right. But the thing that sort of creates, this is another sort of story that comes up, is some feelings of disappointment and guilt when I don't catch the unconscious movement right away, and like when I'm just sort of lost in the anger for a lot longer than my ego would like to be lost for, you know.
Yeah.
And
And
not
it's like,
catching it in time just brings up a lot of sort of pain and guilt.
yeah, and just to notice there, you know, the sort of harshness, that sort of habitual harshness towards ourselves, that we should be having a different kind of experience, that we should be more evolved than we are, more conscious, or whatever it is. And like the way that we've so conditioned to damn ourselves, you know, and everything's so innocent. When people go, we can go lifetimes without being conscious of these places.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's so innocent. When that happens, it's so innocent. It's not because we're a bad person or we're uniquely broken or something. It's like we just didn't have the resource.
Right, right.
And we're not in charge of our own unfolding. It's so organic.
I feel that sort of shadowy aspect of me that wants to make quick progress to sort of get to this place called truth, or, you know, and it's just like,
and it's just to see how that is like meeting every, like whatever layer is present right now is the invitation. So even if that layer is anger or it's shame, or, you know, like it's sort of like, even if it's the worst place that we in us, that the place where we just like feel is like the least enlightened, the most unlovable, the place that absolutely damnable, you know, it's like meeting that place with compassion, opening to that place. Like, wow, what's going on there? Why the harshness towards myself? What is that? Just really opening, like with a willingness to know what's actually true there, what's happening in there.
when you say opening, is that just sort of putting an awareness on that and sort of just sort of bringing it into your lens of awareness or perception, kind of?
Yeah, it's like really opening to our experience. It's just really letting it be known, letting ourselves feel it, letting ourselves be into it of what's here. And it's hard to narrow it down or be specific here, because it's like anything that's too specific makes it a thing.
Right, right.
And it's like, it's really like, it's this invitation to open beyond all the maps and models the mind has of what we think we are, and actually like really like allow ourselves to be surprised by what's here.
Yeah, because sometimes when all of that action comes up, it's like, okay, now how do I open to this? Like, how do I accept it completely and not have any resistance to it?
Yeah. And we just sort of spiral in that. It's like it just gets worse and worse, you know. It's like layer upon layer. And it's like at any point, the invitation is to turn towards the layer that's here, just to meet that layer so innocently, so openly. It's like, wow, I'm trying to get away from resistance, or I'm downing the resistance that I feel. You know, just letting ourselves open to what's there, like letting ourselves feel the resistance, feel what's closed. Really knowing what it feels like to be closed. Just with so much compassion, without the slightest push to make it different, without the slightest violence to what we're experiencing.
Thank you. I'll work with that. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, just so appreciate the sincerity of your inquiry. Just, yeah. It's like all the shares today. It's just that you're speaking for all of us.
Oh, thank you so much.
Yeah.
That was beautiful. Thank you.
We still have just a few minutes left. If you've been sitting with a question or something you'd like to share, feel free. So beautiful just looking at you all. It's like such a miracle that we can be together like this. All these hearts gathered, all these different corners of the universe.